Good morning. I'm going to talk about something this morning that is very real to a lot of people, but it's more of a struggle that is really hard to deal with rather than something that with a few skills you can just overcome, like most of my videos here. And I'm going to talk about burnout. When do you have burnout? What is burnout? How do you get it? What do you do with it? I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I experienced a little bit of burnout a few weeks ago, which is why I'm talking about it right now. And I can always tell the signs because I've dealt with it quite a few times. What burnout is when your mind is super active. Usually your emotions are a little bit strained as well. So you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, feel a lot of stress in life, whatever it is, for an extended period of time. Now, how can you start to notice it? Often people's dreams change. So you start noticing you're having really weird dreams, maybe some nightmares, whatever that is. That's happened to me in the past. Maybe sometimes you simply, no matter how much you sleep, you're not getting enough rest. You're always feeling tired. Sometimes your diet changes significantly, but usually that can be for a lot of different things. Often you ruminate on things and yet you cannot focus in the same way. So your normal routine that you're usually able to accomplish is now more difficult. So those are typical signs of burnout. Now, what do you do about it? The only thing to do, the best thing to do by far that I would recommend is that you go and find some green space. Nothing quiets the mind like nature. Nature has its own pace, and it's a slower pace than the frenetic movement of our minds that we've trained ourselves to be in from all the TV and the quick ads and the fast-paced lifestyle that we have. Spending just a few days in a quiet place. Now, for me, it's backcountry camping. I love just getting lost in the woods. If I always joke with people, if no one can find me for a few weeks, if I die, that's what I want. I want to be in a place where no one can find me. I'm so far away from people that I get no noise from them. There's a different pace to nature. There's a pace to the sun going down and the sun coming up, and birds and animals coming out and animals going to bed, and the pace of life of simply cooking and eating and enjoying it. That's a fantastic pace. I'm going to tell you a few things that will not help you with burnout. TV is not restful. Doing things with technology is not restful. Again, there are frequencies with all technology that is coming into us and simply adds to the pace. Playing games is typically not restful for people. The most restful things for most people, and there's some games that are slower thought process, like chess or whatever it is, but typically the activities that are going to be good are, again, getting outside, going for swims. Again, there's something about swimming where the pace is a little bit different. Try to do it at a time where the pool isn't busy or there's a lot more quiet. Going for consistent walks early in the morning before anyone's up, where again, it's really peaceful, or in the evenings after everyone's down where it's really peaceful. These are the things you can do, and they will have a profound impact within a couple of weeks of you starting this. Whenever this happens to me again, I go backcountry camping because that makes a big difference for me. But you can do this without being in nature. Just find a secluded place somewhere. I've found a couple of secluded places that in the winter are my go-tos. Now, I still go out for walks and I do other things. But simply finding a place, a cabin, rent something else from somebody, and simply being out in a place where it's quiet will make a massive difference for you. Nobody knows what difference this makes until you actually try it. And you might be thinking, oh, Mark, I don't really like nature. I don't really like... Trust me, when you do this, it'll be hard, especially if you've got those paradigms in your head. But if you do this for at least 2 or 3 days, you're going to see your mind come to a complete place of peace over that period of time. It'll be hard at first, but it'll get better. Don't take your cell phone. Leave it at home. Now, what I found is there's something magical about 72 hours. Often with people, it takes at least 48 hours to start calming down and slowing down the pace. Once that happens, then you get into a really unique place of Zen. And often when I come back into the city, what I notice is even traffic, if somebody passes me or I'm driving by somebody, I find it irritating. Even when I start the vehicle, it's irritating because my mind is so at peace. So listen, I'm giving you very practical suggestions that are very doable. If you go, Mark, there's nowhere close, I'm not going to make it out anywhere, then I would highly suggest learning to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a way to slow down your prefrontal area. Well, we use your prefrontal cortex to slow down your limbic system. So basically use the executive part of your brain, the decision-making part of your brain that helps with a lot of that. Slow down that emotional part of your brain, the overwhelmed part of your brain. Mindfulness is proven with a lot of research to do amazing things for people. It's got to be done on a consistent basis. So if you're doing this every morning and every afternoon and every evening, that's a good practice. The longer you do it, the better. You can start off with 30 seconds at the beginning and then get longer and longer as time goes by. The people who are the calmest, the people they're fantastic to spend time with, my favorite people are typically those who do practice some kind of mindfulness, because they're not overwhelming to spend time with. When we spend time with stressed people, we take on that stress. So for today, all I want you to do is make a decision to say, what can I do on a consistent basis to help myself? Again, the walks, the swims, whatever it is, walks in parks, the mindfulness meditations. And what can I do if I ever do feel overwhelmed a little bit, if I do feel burnt out? And again, have a strategy for that. If you simply have it, it's really useful. Now, typically I go out on a quarterly basis at least and go get lost somewhere out in the wilderness. And then what that does is I know that every 3 months I'm kind of having that reset, even if my routine has fallen off a little bit. That makes a big difference for me. Have the plan for the consistency every day. Have a plan for every once in a while that you need a little bit more. And if you do this, I know that you will have this. You will be able to find it within you to bring peace to your own life, which makes a massive difference in business. So again, you've got this.